Breaker broke 2-3. Well, I wanted to do another video on one of my favorite radios. This is one of my go-to radios down here in the office. I use this quite a bit. It's on dang near 24/7. Just a good old trusty standby. I've had it in my collection now for about 15 years. And this unit's never failed, always been there for me when I needed a rig that works. And anyway, this is the old President, or in this case, Uniden Madison. This was the high-end base station from Uniden at the time. And it's a 40 channel, AM, upper lower sideband, CB base station with matching external front firing speaker. And I'll tell you a little more about that in a minute, but I just want to quickly run over the features of this radio, and I'll just kind of go from left to right. We have the mic jack, the headphone jack, the volume control, squelch, mic gain, RF gain, SWR cal, AM, upper lower sideband, clarifier, SWR, noise blanker A&L, and CB channel 9 switch, which is a total waste in my opinion, but you can use it for other things, Roger beeps, extra channels, whatever you can come up with. But I truly do think that a channel 9 switch, especially on a base station, is just absolutely worthless. You can comment on that if you want. A lot of people have in the past. So I got the transmit receive light up in the corner, antenna warning indicator, which is kind of nice to have once in a while, and of course the dual meters, SWR modulation, SRF power meter. The bulbs burned out in the meters quite a few years back, so I replaced them with 5mm white LEDs, and I really like the look. Getting a lot of light reflection here, but anyway, I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, that looks real nice at night. Old motorized drum clock that does not work. Of course, most of these old units don't anymore. And I have one time rebuilt the motor in this, and thought I was doing pretty good. About 3 months later, I looked at it and it stopped. So if anybody has any information on replacement motors, rebuilding techniques, please email me or do a video on it and post it, please. I think that'd be kind of cool. I've checked into replacement motors, and I actually have come close, but not an exact replacement. Okay, now the external speaker. Really nice to have, forward firing, you know, but these are very tinny sounding, and they kind of hurt my ears. I didn't really like it at all. And as you can see, you know, these are all, you know, tin type tops and cases and whatnot. But what I did to this one, I try to take some of the high end out of it and some of the hollowness / tinny sound out of it. So what I did is I went into the shop there, and I found a bunch of old Dynamat, and they use this in the car audio field for dampening, sound dampening, for keeping the noise out of the cockpit of the car, road noise, etc., etc. It kind of keeps the sound in too, and makes the speaker sound better, blah blah blah. Well, it does the same thing on this too. So what I did is I went down here and I took it apart and I lined the bottom of the case, all the sides, and the back. And you can tell, you tap on that, it's not, you know, tinny. It's got a good solid sound to it. I did the same thing in the rear. I got the rear as well, and so it's not totally airtight or anything like that, but it is sealed up fairly good. And on the back, you know, we have PA plug. We have 2 external speaker plugs, which is kind of neat for left and right speaker setup, your antenna coax connector, and the power connector and the DC connector as well. I've seen these on eBay for anywhere from about $125 to about $250 for the digital versions. The later versions of the Uniden Madison had a digital clock there instead of this old school mechanical type clock. They're an 8719 chip on this one. I don't know if the digital one is different, so let me know if you know. It'd be kind of cool to know. I've been looking around for a digital one, but I got to be honest with you, I just don't have a need or a reason to replace this radio. I'm going to keep this one forever, and if it dies, I'll try to resurrect it. But the old President Madison, or Uniden Madison in this case, great rig, really good front end in it, nice and quiet, yet sensitive and selective, very, very clean receiver, very good transmitter. I have this one set up does about 3.5 watts, a flat key on AM, and swings to around 9 or so. And on sideband, it does about 12 watts, good hell, 12 hefty, 12, 14 watts. You just barely, just open up the audio a little bit. I didn't take out anything or do any mods or add any super modulation kits or anything. It just doesn't need it. I run a Lafayette range boost microphone on it, which is basically a Turner +3. I'm a Turner guy, like them Turners, and so that works out really well on this, especially on single sideband. Put an amplifier behind it. It's a good radio, even without one actually, but when I use an amplifier, I do have a little Magnaforce amplifier that I use the preamp on every once in a while, and it works with this radio really well. So anyway, there you go. President Madison. If you see one of these, get a good deal on it, buy it. I really don't think it'll let you down. I think you'll be very happy with it, just as long as we haven't had any golden screwdrivers or any wizards of smarts out there trying to jack these things around. It should be a damn good, dependable radio for you. Anyway, take care. 7-3s, boys. Hope you enjoyed.